Hi, welcome to Polyphonic Press. I'm Jeremy Boyd, and today I'm going to be looking at Highway 61 Revisited by Bob Dylan. Here we go. So this is Bob Dylan's sixth studio album and his second recording with a full electric band. When the album that preceded this one, Bringing It All Back Home, was released, he was heavily criticized for leaving behind his folk roots and selling out for rock music, but he didn't really let that bring him down and continued to plow through it and didn't allow anyone to tell him he couldn't do something. The album's name came from the title track and the actual Highway 61, which connected Bob Dylan's hometown to the Mississippi Delta, and it had also been sung about in many old blues songs. Without question, the defining song on this album is Like a Rolling Stone. It has topped many lists as the greatest song ever written and continues to be discovered by new generations. Lyrically, it's one of Bob Dylan's best songs, and it's pretty long, clocking in at about 6 minutes, but what people don't really know is actually the original lyrics were about 20 pages worth of material. Al Kooper was present at the recording session for this song, and he had already made a name for himself as a very competent and well-respected guitar player in rock and roll, but seeing as the guitar parts were already filled up, he decided to play the organ. The signature organ riff was improvised, and if you listen closely, you can hear he's kind of falling about half a beat behind the chord changes, and that's because he's actually looking at the guitar players to see where they are so he knows where the chord is going to go. And without really realizing it, that sort of style of coming in a little bit late really tied the whole song together. Picking a favorite song on this album is a pretty hard choice because there isn't really a weak one on here. Desolation Row is a great long ballad that tells this surreal story, and Highway 61 Revisited, the title track, is this great blues number led by the electric piano. But I think if I had to choose a favorite song, I would go with It Takes a Lot to Laugh, It Takes a Train to Cry, because just such an unusual title piques your curiosity and you want to kind of see what's going on with this song. With its loose bluesy shuffle and lyrics about sexual frustration, it's definitely one of the songs that stands out the most to me on this album. Some of the lines in the song were borrowed from old blues songs and sort of juxtaposed with Dylan's own lyrics and sort of creates a hybrid between an original song and a cover. The production on this album is a little bit different from Bringing It All Back Home. The drums have this distant sort of room sound on them, and a lot of these songs have a very distinctive piano tone. I think mostly what they were going for on this album is something that sounded spontaneous, and I think they definitely achieved that. In fact, I think this album was really only recorded in a little over a week. Bob Dylan is one of the most influential songwriters of the 20th century, and Highway 61 Revisited is some of his best work. I've said it before, but Bob Dylan is one of my favorite singers because you can believe every single word that he says, and Highway 61 Revisited is no exception. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this album. If you'd like to suggest a classic album for me to look at, please leave that in the comments as well. Be sure to subscribe so you know when we post new videos, and you can check us out on Twitter and Facebook. You can help us out on Patreon and check out the website polyphonicpress.com. All those links are in the description, and that's about it. Take it easy.